We begin with breaking news tonight. Boise Fire says 3 people died and 9 others are injured after a private hangar under construction collapsed near the Boise airport this evening. 5 of the 9 injured are in critical condition at local hospitals. The cause of that collapse is under investigation. Our Abby Davis is live near the Jackson Jet Center where the collapse happened. She's been at the scene throughout the day. Abby, just an absolutely devastating situation. We're learning about those deaths just now into the newsroom. What else can you tell us?
Yeah, Morgan, we're at West Rickenbacker Street and Luke Street where this all happened. This is the closest that we're able to get to the site. Here's video of the Jackson Jet Center hangar from a bit earlier. You can see dozens of emergency vehicles and first responders and steel on the ground. The middle of the building is caved in. The Jet Center said it was a 39,000 square foot steel hangar. Boise Airport's director said the project was in the early stages and only framework was up.
Deputy Tobin Bolter is our deputy, and we're devastated to say he did not survive his injuries, and he passed away moments before this press conference.
It has been a day of mourning throughout the Treasure Valley as the community grieves over the loss of an Ada County Sheriff's deputy. The 27-year-old is the first deputy from Ada County to ever lose his life in the line of service. And our Jude Binkley joins us with how the community is mourning and how this senseless shooting happened. Jude, it is truly a tragic story.
Yes, Carolyn, it's been a very emotional day for all of our local law enforcement and the Treasure Valley as a whole. Now, this all stemmed from a traffic stop turned deadly on the Boise bench.
This has been my home. I was born and raised here. And it's my community. And it was senseless and it shouldn't have happened.
Deputy Bolter died Sunday morning after a traffic stop near Overland in Raymond and Boise turned deadly. During a press conference Sunday, Ada County Sheriff Matt Clifford described the moments leading up to the shooting.
When he approached the driver's window, the driver shot the deputy and fled the scene. The video shows that the deputy never even made it to the window.
There is absolutely no excuse or justifiable reason for this violence perpetrated against law enforcement officers in our community. I am both angered and heartbroken at the same time.
The suspect in the shooting was a 65-year-old man who had a $3,000 misdemeanor warrant for his arrest. Boise police found his car around 9:30 Saturday night. Their special operations unit responded when they located the suspect in a neighborhood on South Jackson Street.
They attempted for quite some time to peacefully and safely take the suspect into custody. Shortly after midnight, the suspect fired a weapon at officers. A BPD officer then returned fire, striking him. The suspect was then given medical aid and transported by ambulance to a local area hospital where he was pronounced deceased.
Bolter was 27 years old and had been working in law enforcement for 7 years.
A young man who, like his greatest example, was willing to lay down his life for others.
Deputy Bolter's loss weighs heavily on all of us, and it's a burden we can't shoulder alone.
At this time, we would like to excuse the members of the Ada County Sheriff's Office patrol teams that are currently on shift to return to their duties, that they may continue the watch.
Just hours ago, Canyon County issued a local disaster emergency because of a major thunderstorm that blew through southern Idaho today.
The storm knocked out power to thousands of people, destroyed power lines, flooded certain areas, and tore trees right out of the ground. Lightning also sparked multiple fires in Oregon and in Idaho.
I don't want to be alone with my own thoughts.
A Nampa family is going through an unimaginable tragedy.
And just a couple seconds they turned around, it was already on fire.
Rachel and Kenny are sharing their heart-wrenching experience after their daughter died in a truck fire and left the rest of the family with burn scars.
Trying really hard not to dwell on the really bad parts of it. Just trying to remember her in a happy way.
Mr. Turner. The issue? whether Idaho's near total abortion ban
Idaho has the strictest abortion ban in the country.
I didn't think that that ban would affect me at all. And when it did, it was shocking and quite infuriating.
At 16 weeks, an ultrasound revealed some devastating news.
And it was at that time that we knew it wasn't okay. You know, our baby, something was wrong with our baby.
The maternal fetal medicine specialist diagnosed their baby with triploidy, an extremely rare, life-threatening genetic condition. It usually leads to miscarriage or early death.
How did they phrase that? I don't have the exact words, but it was along the lines of, there is no medical intervention that can save this baby.
What was that feeling like?
Heavy. Like you drop a rock and the earth stood still.
Fetal anomalies don't know any bounds. They don't discriminate against anybody.
Dr. Duncan Harmon works at St. Luke's, and he's one of 5 maternal fetal medicine specialists left in Idaho.
We focus mainly on high-risk pregnancies, which is kind of a loose term, but women with pre-existing or pregnancy-related medical conditions, whether that's somebody with pre-existing diabetes, high blood pressure, they develop preeclampsia,
or they have some sort of autoimmune disease. MFMs are also called on to care for fetuses with anomalies, which are more common than you might think.
Roughly 3% of all pregnancies are affected with some sort of congenital anomaly, and those kind of get filtered into us in our world.
Dr. Harmon says that preventing the death of the mother exception for abortion puts him into an inverse relationship with his patients.
The more close to death someone becomes, the less liability I have of either going to jail, facing a criminal lawsuit, or losing my medical license because that patient was on death's door.
You don't want to get to that.
Yeah, I mean, my Hippocratic Oath is to do no harm. I'm not going to sit and wait and watch somebody to become sicker so that I become less liable. I want to act in the best interest of the patient. And so many of those circumstances involve me transferring a patient out of state so they can receive appropriate medical care before deterioration occurs.
They have?
This whole division in our country is...
the audacity.
There's something behind that. There's just, you know, there's some kind of a force that's just trying to keep us apart, and I'm working against that.
I lean fiscally conservative.
I'm an independent, but I lean red. And I'm a member of the Republican Party.
And I'm socially liberal.
And I registered to be a Democrat when I turned 18 years old.
And why are you here today?
For that very reason. I want to ask questions.
What issues are important to them?
And so I want to bring that out.
At least hear what the other side is thinking. I want people to know where I'm coming from. I want to know where they're coming from, because there may not be an absolute truth.
A truth they do know.
Mindless, hateful thugs like the leftoids.
Is division.
The right is too busy fighting with itself to govern.
The goal of this exercise is...
But the braver angels are a bridge.
And see if there's any common ground.
And their flagship's founder
was a marriage counselor.
Built it out of his practice.
And they knew that if a husband and wife could not communicate, couldn't talk, there was no hope to save the marriage. And they saw that in the country.
Do you think vows can be renewed?
You know, maybe it breaks down at that point, but maybe a vow of respect and dignity.
And I can see why women don't report. And I can see why women don't go through it because of my instance, for example. Because justice is almost never served.
It doesn't feel ethical to say, I need you to put yourself out there. I need all of your information. I need you to go through this trauma. I need you to continue to reopen this wound in order for me to prove my case, but I can get rid of it without ever having your stamp of approval.
And then I asked if they had made the decision, and they said yes. And I said, oh, you didn't even consult me. You didn't even call me in to talk to me about it. You just took that choice away from me too.
We wanted to know if Rose's case was unique and how many cases actually result in rape convictions. Ada County Prosecutor's Office data shows they charged and closed more than 90 rape cases between January 2018 and December of 2023. Rose's case is among more than 20 of those that pled down to misdemeanors. While 56 rape charges ended in some kind of felony conviction, rape convictions are rare.
Where a Saturday morning scenery blends with hear ye, hear ye.
Definitely here to
a shilling for their thoughts.
Do my team proud.
Shows a focus beyond the scorecard.
Force and impact.
They're chasing something
Timekeeper ready!
worth much more.
Fight!
Breathe and relax. Let's go!
Not adrenaline.
That's right, what's he gonna do?
Not discipline.
Sidestep!
Ironically,
Stop fight! Stop fight! Good job, guys.
Clinton fights
Gold medal today, sir?
for friendship.
You have to walk away at least with that respect.
And respect for whatever this is.
You know, medieval MMA.
5 dudes versus 5 dudes, last one standing.
My God! Weapons flying.
That's where the background in MMA comes into play.
There we go, body slam!
This is fine. Yeah, this is active.
Every August, the thrill of the off-season reaches its peak in Boise. Cotton candy skies illuminate a summer send-off with a sweet goodbye. It's a moment to embrace one last spin before you bump into the most anticipated time of the year that always seems to arrive at a supersonic speed. Rising waters signal it's time to take a dip in the blues. And there's only one way to prepare yourself for the roller coaster of emotions of football season.
Into the clear, to the 40, to the 50, to the 40, hurdles a man, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown, Ashton Jetty.
With a Heisman hopeful leading the way, the Spencer Danielson era is here. And the Broncos believe
It's not doing the small things right.
they're built different.
I'm Gabby Miller and I am Ashton's girlfriend. I came here to watch him, be recognized as a Heisman Trophy finalist. I mean, just like Ashton said, I was rubbing his arm. I was like, oh my gosh, I have butterflies and it's not even me being in this situation.
Let's go! Let's go!
Never in my life did I believe anyone would get close to Barry Sanders and his 2,600 yards rushing. But this young man's got a playoff game. He is the reason Boise is in the finals.
No doubt.
Or in the playoff with a chance to play for a national championship.
It's such a beautiful thing to see Boise come alive. There's so much art, there's so much energy, dance, people vibing.
Last year, they had 25,000 unique attendees that attended the event.
Shreveport has been the biggest event that has kind of connected sort of what Boise has been for the past 10 years. Boise!
Backwards.
There you go.
That it came from an idea of a couple people here right in town that wanted to create a music festival. And look what they did. They did it.
Don't deserve you.
Without a sense for who the people are in a city, in the city that you live, a city really isn't anything, and this gives people who live here an opportunity to see a part of what Boise is, I think, which is super important.
All humans are meant to be creating, and art is a collection of so many different cultures, ideas, beliefs, all the things that it is to be human, and where you come from is expressed through art. And I think that it brings people together and it creates lasting friendships and relationships and experiences that you'll always remember. I think that's really important for humans in general.